When you, Magina, poop your pants, you're gonna be thinking of me in your pants.
Okay, well, you brought it up. Let's talk about
We're going to
Pixels.
Pixels.
So, Pixels is
the movie that Kevin James was not afraid to be a part of.
No, and neither was Peter Dinklage for some reason.
Yeah.
So this movie, I saw this before almost.
This was at the height of Game of Thrones, wasn't it?
Yes.
Oh my goodness! How did he?
Yeah, no. This is his off season. This is what he decided to do. So I saw this movie before anybody else. I was able to go to the theater to a critic screening. I was able to work my way into that.
That's right.
I used to write for a website that like nobody read, but I wrote for a website, so I was able to get into screenings. I remember leaving the theater and the lady asking me what I thought about the film. And I was like, how much time do you have? And she's like, it was that bad? And I was like, yeah, you can just write that down. That's fine. And we'll just leave it at that. Because the poor lady taking like our thoughts, like it's not her fault that the movie is garbage. I do remember hating this movie even more when I watched it because of how much the audience was laughing.
Really?
Yes.
In the
theater, people were enjoying this film, which really, really irritated me.
People who were like writers of some variety.
Well, they were like, I mean, I think I know I was in there with like some like local like radio DJ type people and things like that.
Okay.
So, and I mean, you've seen the hack frauds on YouTube and stuff like that. That'll just give any movie a blowjob if those people throw some swag their way. They don't care. And that was my experience watching this movie originally. And I'll say this, I really, really hate this film. So I know Jack and Jill is a much worse film, technically. It's a across the board. It's a bad.
This had Galaga and Pac-Man in it, so it's better than Jack and Jill.
Right, but for me, I hate this movie more because I understand there's the potential for a fun, not even a great movie, but a fun, good summer blockbuster film here.
Something at least worth taking your kids to.
Right, and that to me is is the key, is kids.
Mm-hmm.
So the film starts right. It starts in the summer of '83.
It has that kind of typical summer opening.
Right, and the kids are going to an arcade, and then they go to an arcade competition. It kind of switches pretty quickly between there, and then it jumps to the future. That to me is where the movie fails.
Mm-hmm.
It should have done. There's a movie, I don't know if you've ever watched it. I remember seeing it a bunch as a kid called The Last Starfighter.
I've heard of it.
And so it's kind of like Tron 2, where somebody who's really good at a video game, it's, you know, Tron, he's transported into the video game, but in Last Starfighter, it's like him being so good at the video game, okay, well, that was training, so now we're going to take you into outer space and you're going to fight this intergalactic battle for us because you passed the training.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like taking that kind of Last Starfighter type thing and using the kids, you could have done this style of movie and made it be a lot of fun, been a good movie for kids.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't have had the most moronic Pac-Man sequence. I don't even know why the hell that was in there. Doesn't make any sense. There's not a cheat code for Pac-Man. There just isn't. There's not a cheat code for Donkey Kong. You get to the kill screen. They don't even. There's a documentary called The King of Kong, and if you watch that, you'll understand what it means to cheat at King Kong. These people did not cheat it. Like to cheat at King Kong means you're not using the original hardware.
Right. It's you're basically hacking the game.
No, you're not even hacking the game. Like, you're using, like, a better joystick than the original hardware had. You're using faster processing. You're using, like, lighter touch buttons and things like that so that you can...
Refurbish,
you're getting a slight advantage on the game because you aren't using, like, authentic... You know, you're using, what would that be, 8-axis instead of 4-axis joystick or something like that.
Okay.
It's little things like that. Like, that's...
The game's literally not made to even handle that, so you're superior.
You're kind of breaking the game by doing that, and that's like if you ever look at there was a guy, and just recently, like this year, it was last year, he got in a lot of trouble. He said he broke the King Kong record finally.
I think I saw that guy.
And
I think you're talking about.
and then people started going through and actually looking at the machine that he was playing on, and from the camera angles, and they like immediately knew like it's not a legit claim. Like the other guy from the King of Kong is still the actual world champion, which is a great documentary.
I think the new guy is trying to sue for defamation too.
Yeah, and he tried that against the documentary because he was in that documentary.
He lost that one. I think he's trying to sue like a couple YouTubers. So this is all opinion.
Yeah,
but but I think he's getting his butt handed to him in court too by them.
And he is definitely the character that Peter Dinklage is basing his character on.
Yes.
I mean, 100%. Like that is definitely this guy, and I think what I find interesting about that is, you know, in most movies, Adam Sandler plays with racial stereotypes. In this one, he plays with physical stereotypes. I don't even want to say it's a disability, but he literally gave
fat jokes, nerd jokes.
Right, but in this movie, he literally gave Peter Dinklage's character small man complex.
Right.
Like, what are you doing? Like, you literally gave. I think he's a dwarf. I don't want to, because I know midget. I think is a slur now. I'm not really sure.
I don't know what the medical.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but he literally gave him.
Everyone knows who Peter Dinklage is.
Yeah,
of course. He's but they did make him that way. And yet everything you've said so far is correct. My biggest gripe with the movie though was that it was just boring. Like I was hoping that the fact that it had video game stuff in it, I was like, okay, it'll be fun to look at. I could see Centipede, even the effects, which of the three bad movies were probably the best effect, just because it had that in it. It was just boring. Like I just did not even. I didn't care enough to hate it. Like Jack and Jill made me feel anger, but it made me feel something. I was just.
So, did you know that this movie was based on a YouTube short? On a short film?
No, I could see that though.
So it was based on...
Is it based on it or is it stolen from it?
No, it was actually based. That guy got paid, thankfully.
Okay, good.
You remember the scene in the third act where everything is happening? It's all cacophonous. Mm-hmm. And then there's like Tetris being played on a building and destroying the building.
Right.
That's the short film.
Oh, okay.
Which is a clever short film.
Yeah, I like that.
But, yeah. No, the plot.
I like that for like a 4-minute video.
Yeah.
That no one's got to pay money to see.
And it's a great 4-minute video. You can find it on YouTube. I'll paste a link to it right here, or right here, or right here. I don't know how to do those yet, so they'll be wherever they are. Okay. Or we'll put it in the notes, whatever.
So they took a 4-minute video and tried to make a 90 minutes roughly?
Too long.
Yeah, it was too long. They made just a monstrosity.
Okay. And another thing, and I'm not, compared to certain other YouTubers, I'm probably a fairly liberal and progressive guy. I'm not really that liberal and progressive. This movie, though, pisses me off so bad because it literally makes a woman a trophy. A woman is literally a trophy in this movie. Like, it's the worst writing. Why would you do that? Oh my gosh.
I don't know why, but the way you were building that up, when you were saying liberal and progressive, I thought you were going to say, I'm pretty liberal and progressive, but this movie made me a fascist. That's where I thought you were going.
I am a bit of a fascist now.
This movie breaks your morals.
I hate democracy.
She is.
Now.
So, who's the character that wins her? Which is a horrible sentence to say, but it's an accurate representation.
It's the guy that plays Olaf, I think, in Frozen.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, it is that.
It's that guy.
Yeah, he's. And he's the typical nerdy, but they made him like a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
And again, none of it was funny.
No.
And you can make conspiracy theorists hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
You can make them hilarious, especially now. This was like pre-COVID.
Right.
You can make them hilarious. No offense to our COVID deniers.
And also, I will say, even after Donald Trump being president, I still don't buy Kevin James as president. I just don't. I just can't.
Well, that's
buy
the thing is, like, the whole time, I kept forgetting he was president. I thought he was, like, the CEO of just a company. And this was the one thing that made me laugh in the movie. I remember I mentioned Jack and Jill that made me laugh. Who was the general?
Brian Cox.
Yes. He was funny. He actually was funny. I'll give him that. It really felt like he was doing his own thing.
Yeah.
He actually made me laugh a couple times.
My problem is with his character arc. I think is the way he was written. I
didn't care about that. You're talking about standards for like a real movie. I'm talking about.
I will say so. The one positive for me is the one joke that made me laugh in this film is Peter Dinklage is at that big party with Serena Williams, and she gets mad and walks away, and he's like, "Well, at least if I got Martha Stewart, I would have had a nice grilled panini right now." And I don't know what it is. It's just the way the wording grilled panini. Yeah, I thought that was actually like a pretty funny joke. I
It was.
like that.
It was.
Like, that was.
There was effort put into that.
Yeah,
You can see the ideas.
And it shows that Dinklage can rise above the material too. Like
he can.
He's that good.
Same with Brian Cox. Like they I think at some point they realized what it was, and so they're like, I got to do something.
Poor Michelle Monaghan. Oh, I hate that she was stuck in here.
It's just the whole thing, and the Asian guy who Pat-Man bit his hand off.
That wasn't the real guy.
That was okay. I wasn't sure. So they were just making well, I mean, I guess it's an Asian guy doing it, so it's not racist. But they were just making fun of him.
No, if he's probably from like Cleveland, it'd be like those old John Hugh movies where they have long Duck Dong, but the guy was from like Wisconsin or something like that. Yeah,
Connecticut. Yeah, and that's the thing too is like it goes back to Jack and Jill. Like it's just he's just talking like the typical Asian stereotypical accent. Like it's not even trying. And like I understand that Asians, when they have a very broken accent, it sounds a little different. But like they were intentionally exaggerating it.
Right.
Just not even trying.
And we've all seen A Christmas Story. That's as much. If you want to do that joke, Christmas Story did it kind of perfectly, and it was both humorous and showed them as very loving people at the same time, being considerate of the family.
They were at least trying to be serious in the movie. This was just a goofy guy on drugs or something running around.
Okay, so real quick, because I hate this movie so much, these are my notes. I'm going to read this off real quick. So it's very important that this happened. The videotape that was taken was in the summer of 1982. Okay? That's when the movie starts. That's when everything takes place.
Right.
And the probe gets sent off pretty much immediately after that.
Sure, yeah.
That's conceit of the film.
Yes.
So, Q*bert wasn't released until October of 1982. Madonna's first album didn't come out until a full year after the movie, so she wouldn't have been part of the movie at all. Samantha Fox didn't get her big break until the next year, so when the kid references that he would like to marry Samantha Fox, he would have had no idea who she was. Where's the Beef did not air on TV until 1984, so the fact that there's Where's the Beef at all in the film is a reference anachronistic. Duck Hunt wasn't until 1984, so that dog wouldn't have been in the movie to be a trophy. In 1982, Hall & Oates performed You Make Me Dream and I Can't Go For That. So the Aliens wouldn't have had a recording of She's Gone where they could have done that. Paperboy wasn't released until 1985. Tetris was created in 1985 but was not released in North America until 1988. The Smurfs did have a video game, but it was released in 1982 and it was only for the Atari and ColecoVision, not for the arcade. So if they filmed all the video game stuff for the arcade, there wouldn't have been any Smurfs anywhere for that to go. Max Headroom didn't appear until 1985 for the first time. And Burger Time didn't come to North America until the end of 1982. and Arachnoid was not released until 1986. So the vast majority of video game references in this film are anachronistic.
Are you implying this movie is lacking consistency?
Also, and I want to make this point real quick too. So they make a videotape, right? They make a videotape to send off.
Yeah.
That's what they're going to put in the probe, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we can assume that the probe is insulated.
Sure.
But it's in it's flowing through the vacuum of space, and if it's not getting consistent energy in there, it's basically going to reach an equilibrium just at a very slow rate.
Sure.
So that film tape in there is going to freeze and become too brittle for even a civilization of aliens who let's assume that they can even determine how to view and how to read the information off of a VHS tape. It would have been too brittle and would have broke apart. All your conceits for this film were stupid, which is why you should have done a Last Starfighter type remake and not even tried to do any of this. Because, and this is what happens when you make a bad film. Like, I'm fine with, there's plenty of movies I like that have plot holes and are anachronistic and don't work out. I mean, Monty Python's Search for the Holy Grail, full of anachronisms. Doesn't make any sense.
Great movies have plot holes.
Right, but when you make a bad movie and you do even lazier plot holes and lazier anachronisms, that's all I'm thinking about the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my fun in actually watching this movie, was being like, I don't think there was I'm pretty sure the Duck Hunt Duck Dog didn't come about until Nintendo, so that would have been after 1982. So that's my final word on Pixels, which is my least favorite of all these movies. It can fucking die, and I never see it again.
So your notes are very different than my notes. Mine were just questions, actually. First one is, this is the first one of the question. Pixels has the same stupid Adam Sandler voices since he began his career. How do they know right away that it's a video game? So from the moment that they're in the Oval Office, they know it's a video game. How do they know that? Makes no sense.
Nope.
How are you friends with the president and he does nothing to help your career?
Yep.
For a record, Adam Sandler, what is he, like a cable man?
He's a
Geek Squad.
Geek Squad from Best Buy.
Yeah. But he went to and that was another attempt at a joke. He went to MIT, but it was
Mississippi Institute of Technology.
Exactly. Yeah, Mississippi. Why does the van have brakes that can literally stop on a dime when his friend appeared in the back and scared him? Like that. It's like this old 1990 van, but it can stop immediately.
Well, the physics of that entire scene don't really make sense because the friend would have been thrown entirely forward.
Well, that's it. Yeah, I didn't think of that.
Unless
another question.
Unless the screen between the driver and the back was actually a trampoline, I'm not sure there would have been enough force there to actually throw him completely out of the back.
I mean, that wouldn't even be top 10 stupidest things in this movie.
No, it wouldn't have. It wasn't. I didn't even think of it until you just said that.
The friend's name was Ludlow. There's a scene in his basement where he basically just casually admits to kidnapping people. Why did they breeze past that? They did. He just casually. He's like, you're the first person who's been down here without me having to kidnap them. I'm like, I'm sorry. What? Why does someone responsible for multiple good movies not understand comedy?
You're talking about
Billy Madison, Mr. Deeds.
I didn't even think you were talking about that. So the director of this did Home Alone.
What the hell?
He was Chris Columbus.
So there's zero excuses.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
No.
What else did Chris Columbus did a lot of movies like in the 80s and 90s. He did. No, that was Richard Donner did Goonies. No, I'm trying to think, but I know he did Home Alone. I'm trying to think what else he did.
Here's the last few.
John Hughes written, by the way. Call back to that.
Nice. What do they think Navy SEALs are? What do they think British people are? Their ideas of Navy SEAls are...
the British scene?
Yes.
Cracked me up so much because it's so obvious they flew like two guys over to get some B-roll and everybody else is just like, hey, let's go to this park. Hey, can you guys playing soccer do an accent? Okay. All right, we're in England now, guys. Eh?
It was perfect.
Oh, man.
But the Navy SEAls were just... I mean, and again... If this were the worst thing in the movie, they're just a bunch of roided up guys. But what bothered me more was that they were all standing in formation at parade rest, which is where your hands are behind your back. Navy SEALs don't do that. Navy SEALs have beards. They'll just hang out and talk to you. They're not going to do this fake respect thing that you see elsewhere. What I mean is, like, they're not going to do all, like, the pomp and circumstance. They're there for one thing. That's it. They're there for the mission, and everyone knows that.
And I feel like, you know, military, army guys at this point in time, you know, it's not like jocks don't leave high school and go join the military. Jocks generally...
They do if they get hurt before they can go to college ball.
Well, I assumed a lot of them went and became, like, the annoying, overpowered, like, local sheriff and cop and things like that.
Yeah, there's some of those too. Sometimes they go...
I feel like a lot of times the army is the place sometimes for, like, the outcasts who need a bit more of a home and a little bit more of a guidance. And those people generally at least know and have played video games before.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Oh, these Marines
well,
acted like they
nowadays,
never even played a video game.
even jocks nowadays play video games.
Yeah.
And at the very least, they know what a video game is. Like who doesn't know what Pac-Man is?
Right.
Everyone, like, me, Mom, and Papa know what Pac-Man is.
Yeah. I used to play Galaga with Papa. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Me, Mom was a killer at Minesweeper. She was.
Papa had Snake on his phone. I
Yeah.
remember that, yeah.
Last one. Why not have the two guys who actually understand the enemy be more available? As soon as the centipede comes, they just put Sandler and was it Kevin James? Or no, it was his buddy to the back, and they have the Navy SEALs do it. Give them guns.
Well, again, this is the bad character arc, plot, and writing that they gave to Brian Cox's character.
Exactly.
So that's what that. I mean, it's bad writing to create a secondary dramatic villain and an obstacle and a hurdle that they have to overcome in the third act. That's all that is.
Why even give him a character arc?
Right, exactly.
You can save a couple $100,000.
Well, and like, he doesn't even have a character arc. His character arc implies growth.
He has a flat character arc.
He does. Well, I mean, pretty much every character in here does, because it's not like Adam Sandler at the end of his
Becomes
all of a sudden actually goes to real MIT or something like that and brushes his teeth. Yeah, I don't know. It's
all right.
I think that's what irritates me about this movie is it could have been so good. Leave it at kids. Mm-hmm. Leave it as a period piece in the 80s. Make it a Last Starfighter type knockoff. That's fine. It had been long enough. Nobody would remember the Last Starfighter.
Or make it like The Wizard.
Exactly.
I would love to see The Wizard again.
Yeah.
In fact,
don't put that on the list. I don't need to.
I'm not gonna put it on the list.
I don't need to remember the Power Glove. Okay. Thanks to that movie, we all knew where the flutes were in Mario Bros.
That is
Mario
exactly
Brothers 3.
how I do it. No, but I am gonna watch that movie soon. Actually, now that I think about it, that's a.
Watch it soon. I think Fred Savage has been canceled. So yeah, you
What did he do?
I think he was like.
Is he MAGA?
No, I think he made some sexist remarks or something like that on set or something like that.
I mean, that's pretty tame for nowadays.
Yeah. No, it doesn't take much.
Whatever.
Yeah.
All right, so time to piss off Kevin. All right,
Okay.
The budget is vague here. It's between $88 million and $129 million. Let's just call it $100 million. How much do you think it made?
So this one I do think with worldwide actually is almost profitable, if I'm not mistaken. So I think this one is close to 240.
You were very close. It's 245.
Yeah.
You were close.
That's because I hate all of you. I hate everybody that watched this movie and paid for it. Oh my gosh.
Kevin didn't pay for it. He just went and saw it.
Yeah, I got free tickets, and then I think it was on. Is it on Freevee? No,
Tubi.
it was on Tubi. It was on Tubi.
We watched it on
So
Tubi.
I have never paid to watch this movie. Never given this movie any money. Very happy about that. I would have been happy never watching that movie again.
Which chaser do we want to drink next?
Let's go with Hustle.
Hustle. All right.